Welcome everybody to Rob's MetalWorks. We are here at the Paper Tiger. We have returned, yes, to deliver our own, one of the most revered bands that San Antonio has ever produced. I have with me Danny and Ruben from the one and only Upon a Burning Body. Gentlemen, welcome back to the show. It's been a little while.
Been too long, huh?
Welcome back, Ruben.
Thank you very much for having us. Fuck yeah.
It's an exciting fucking time, man, and I'm so glad to have the opportunity to chat with you. Your new record just dropped yesterday, and we're gonna talk about it. But before we do, let's talk a little bit. Let's take a little step back and talk a little bit about what happened when you finished the cycle and the touring for Straight Out of the Barrio. What did y'all do? What was the plan after you were done with that record?
Well, we knew we needed to write a new record, so we took a lot of time off. Maybe looking back too much, but we needed it, you know, and you know, we really needed to focus on what we wanted to achieve with this album, and we went in and we did the best we could, and we laid it out, you know. So.
Did you guys just kind of like, were you doing music at that time, or you just said, I just need to step away from the music, from the scene, from all of the social media, and just kind of regroup mentally as well? Was that part of it?
Yeah, it's definitely a disconnect, but I mean, we never stop creating. Like, it's always always got to generate new stuff and just keep the ideas flowing, because then you get stale and you kind of, you know, you lose touch, so you got to keep it going, you know. But I think the break was really good for us, yeah.
Straight From The Barrio came out in 2016. This one's dropping 2019. It's a little longer in between the records than what you have done historically in the career. Why did this one take a little longer to come on out?
Well, I think partially because of the previous question. We needed the time off and the time to create. So I think when you add those two back to back, it just creates that little bit extra time, you know. So I think that's what it really was.
And for some of you out there who don't know yet, the brand new one just came out yesterday, June the 7th. It's called Southern Hostility. A lot of pub has already been talked about this record, that it's a throwback to the old school of the band. Very heavy, straightforward, not a lot of like filler musically, just really guitars, drums, vocals. Talk a little bit about the approach. What were you guys wanting to do musically?
I think it was really the mindset, you know, and it was to bring back that energy and that aggression, and, you know, really go back to the roots, and, you know, just create something that's real. And I think that was really the idea behind it. And once we nailed the sound, it just all flowed out like nothing. It was true passion and emotion, and that's really what we needed.
And did you guys work on the record here in San Antonio, right?
Yeah, we wrote and recorded.
Yeah,
here.
And
with Christopher Mora, who's an amazing producer, up and coming. He's gonna be big. And our brother Thomas came and helped produce. So us four wrote the album top to bottom.
Wow. What was that process like? Because I know Chris. You know, he's dabbled with you guys in the past, but I think this time you really acclimated him more into the writing than maybe in the past. But, you know, a good producer. I know he's a great guitar player and stuff. I know he's playing with Cold Casket tonight too. I was like, wow, good guys. And I remember back when he was very young, you know, as a guitar player in Darkness Divided, I always used to tell him, I said, man, you're the next great guitar player in this town.
He's amazing.
He's a great talent.
He is, and we recognize that, and we knew that we had this idea, but, you know, we wanted. Thomas is our brother. He's just talented. The kid is just talented, and so me and Ruben said, well, we know we want Mora, but let's bring in Thomas and get that fresh, unbiased. He can pull us. If we get off track, if we do, he'll be there to say like, no. Y'all told me we were going for this, you know, so let's keep it this. But it wasn't like that. It was literally, we'd come in every day and Ruben would write a riff, and he would write maybe 20 riffs, 10 riffs, and until we all said, that's the riff, now let's write the song, you know? And so every song was like that. So it was different. It's different.
And he's younger than Chris is, Thomas.
Yeah.
So he's really has his pulse on the scene. I mean, himself, he's a great vocalist. I've followed him too as a young man, even from back in the band from before Cold Casket too. So I know he's heavy.
Yeah. No, he is. He's got a lot of talent. You know, we obviously he saw what we do, and he had interest in it, and then he just took it and ran. And he's doing his thing.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, it's definitely like a camaraderie in there, and that's the cool thing.
Yeah.
Is every morning we go, and it was just easy. It was easy because we all are friends, and grew up together, so it was great.
He wasn't afraid to tell you, Ruben, that riff's not working.
Yeah, exactly. He put us in place. Yeah, man, it was great. It was good.
And when I was kind of getting ready for this interview, I was like, man, looking back, I said, yeah, the first one came out in 2010, but they were a band before that. It's been a 14-year career now. Is that true? I mean, that long? Close?
I don't know if I want to think about it. Make me feel old. Nah.
But you guys actually have been doing Upon for a while, and for me, I remember when I first came onto the band, kind of seeing your evolution, and really, to me, when I think about the band now, it just seems like you're at a very high level of maturity now with what you want to do musically, but also, as we were talking off camera, Danny, just personally too.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, no, we've grown. We're different. We changed a lot. You learn and you try to become better and portray better. So people feel it and can use it and do that in their own lives. And that's what the record is. It's a positivity. It's trying to spread that through aggression. It's Southern Hostility, yes, because we're from Texas, and the album's hostile, but it's hostile because we have a message, and we're trying to have people change for the better if we can a little bit. If we can change one person, it's fine.
Yeah, and I guess that's a great segue into lyrically what you're talking about. I mean, when I listen to Upon a Burning Body, it's always kind of like, fighting against the grain, overcoming, persevering, fighting the fight, and not backing down and being strong. And if you get knocked down, fucking get back up.
Right. Well, I think, as Mexicans, we're all kind of just like that naturally. But yeah, the record is that, and so we've talked about this, and we want people to understand. It's, with Ruben, one of his favorite songs on the album is Reinventing Hatred. You know what I mean? And that's essentially what that song is about, is the fact that the world has gotten so crazy. I mean, people have gotten so wild out here that, in a sense, as a people, we're reinventing fucking hatred. It's just different, and we want people to take listen to this song and know that things are getting really bad. We're getting to this certain point, and we want people to wake up and start treating each other better. How we've talked about help someone, because you're going to need help at some point, and you want them to be there for you, so you have to be there. And we're just hoping to start that, man, and just, like I said, if we can help one person,
Yeah.
They'll help someone else. So
every time I turn on the news or turn on my Facebook, I see all this crazy shit happening in our own town. And, the advent of social media just makes it a little bit worse. You guys released the first single, King of Diamonds, really kick-ass song. And when I was outside talking to George, he's like, Rob, what's your favorite song on the record? I said, The Champ's Coming. That's my jam. He goes, tell the dudes that. Tell them that. He goes, I kept telling them. They don't believe it. I said, yeah, dude, that's my jam. That's my jam.
Yeah, it's crazy because you never know what song's going to hit, and we love them all. And it was so hard to pick the singles. We were just like, man, which one is a single? I was like, I guess until it's out there and people start, digesting it, then you really find out like which ones are the bangers.
You guys get a little too close to the painting because you're hearing it over and over and over. But I remember when I first heard the record, I went through the whole record and I went through it again. Of course, King of Diamonds is a great song. That I probably would have chosen that one as the first single, but The Champ's Coming is definitely one of my favorites too, man. Yeah. And as we talk about George, you guys are on a brand new label, Seek and Strike. Talk a little bit of what it's been like working with George. And I go way back with George, way back with him, and I think like almost 20 years or something. When he used to work at Century Media, I knew that dude. Oh, wow. And then today was the first time I've ever met him in person, believe it or not.
Yeah, it was a good change of pace. We were in this middle of this transition, and they approached us and, basically said, we just want you to do what you guys do, and we'll do the rest. We'll make sure it gets into the right hands. We'll make sure you guys get out there, just do what Upon a Burning Body does, and that's it. And it was easy as that, and we just all meshed together, came together, and created this badass album.
He's a great guy. He has a lot of energy. So if he's out there busting ass for you behind the scenes, that's a great thing. That's a great thing. You guys did a cover song, an Alice Cooper cover song. And when I heard the song, I was like, holy smokes, this is like really a little different than what the rest of the record is. Why'd you choose that song?
It's weird. We went,
Feed My Frankenstein.
Yeah, we went through a bunch of ideas. We just, we said we want to do. Collectively, the team said, let's do a cover. Let's,
Yeah.
you know, if we can do it, we'd like that. So we said, okay, we finished all the beef songs, you know, everything that we felt was, this is a good album. And then let's think of a cover, and started going through some classics. And like Ruben says, we wanted something that was old enough where we can kind of retweak it, you know? I mean, we're not by any means reinventing it. I mean, it's a classic. But we can do something with it. And Thomas, I think, was just like, why don't you do Feed My Frankenstein? Everybody was just like, oh, that song's great. And it was a little frightening for me because I didn't know, you know, if I could vocally just do something like that.
Because it's a cleaner style.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so they did that. They did the song and the music, and I said, well, now if I don't sing it well, that just wasted a lot of time, you know. So, but fortunately, we went in the booth, and everybody was happy with how it sounded. So
Yeah.
And unknowingly, it's crazy because we did the song, we did the track, and it was already in the bank. And then we hear Alice Cooper's coming back to tour.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, it's so perfect, man. Like, we did this cover, and now, you know, everybody can kind of be involved. It's fucking awesome.
Yeah. And then, you know, as anticipation was building up for the record, you know, I was getting all the press releases from Seek and Strike. The video fucking drops, and oh god, that video is like so killer, dude. I mean, I love the simplicity of it and the brutality of it, and you know, just to see you guys throwing down. What was that like? What was was that the premise for the video? You guys did it at Bonds too, right?
yeah, we did it at Bond. Shout out to them for allowing us to. I mean, the great people, the owners, and yeah, you know, the label said we want to do something like just bare bones, just capture what you do, and we hadn't really done that maybe ever, like not like that, you know.
Yeah.
Not just that's it, there's nothing else, it's just you in a room, you know. And it was cool, man.
The intimacy was where it was at, like
Yeah.
us just facing each other, just fucking jamming out. And I think that's really what made that video different.
Because historically, like your videos have kind of, I mean, from what I see, they look like high production. There's just actors involved.
Yeah.
There's actually like, you know, I guess like a script, a storyline. But this one was like, okay, guys, here you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just threw us in a room and said, do what you do. And
Did it take a long time? How long did it take to shoot? How many times did you shoot?
I think we played the song 12 times. That's it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
Probably about 3 hours, 3 hours it took.
Cool.
Took a little breaks because, you know, we're getting a little old. We needed a couple breaks.
Any other videos planned?
Not at the moment. We're trying to see what people are gonna enjoy and digest, and then we'll see what the next video is gonna be.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's the whole thing.
Well, we know what you want.
Yeah. I heard you guys might play that song tonight too.
Yeah, we might.
We'll see. We'll see. And speaking of tonight, you know, the CD release show. It's kind of hard, you know, to call it a CD release show because George and I were talking. I went to the merch booth and I told Rick, I thought this was a release show. Where the fucking CDs at? And then I was telling George, George, he goes, Rob, nobody buys CDs. I know. I said, I'm an old man. I still look for CDs.
Yeah. I didn't even think about that till today. We should have called it like a streaming streaming show. Yeah.
But you guys are here, you know, really kind of kicking off the celebration of the dropping of Southern Hostility from yesterday. What is it going to be like to be here in your hometown? I was already in the club. It's packed to the gills already. So it's going to be a fabulous night tonight.
I hope so, man. I mean, it's just, what can I say about the home crowd? I mean, we owe them everything, you know? I mean, we started here and they allowed us to make merch and sell to them and then save it to make more merch and snowball it to get a van and then to go tour and to get that initial gas money to go out there. And so without the city, who knows if it would have happened, you know? I mean, so what can I say, you know? Just so grateful.
And it seems that, you know, you guys have always had like this really strong bond with the scene here in San Antonio, and your fans are getting a little older. And then I also was walking inside and I see a lot of younger kids in there too, who are now still coming on to Upon a Burning Body now.
Yeah, it's great to see them because we showed up and it's like, who are these people? Like, man, it used to be like a lot of friends, you know, from back in the day. And then little by little, as we toured more and more, we noticed like, wow, the young kids are coming out, and it's awesome to see that we still have a scene that's very alive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So as you talked about right now, you're kind of trying to ramp things up for maybe going out on the road. What do you guys anticipate for 2019?
Well,
What do you want to do?
Well, we have to try to tour and promote the album. That's obvious. And we just, we put out the record that we felt strong about, and if anybody, we're hoping somebody big wants to take us out with them or something, and so that'd be nice, and it's kind of just what we're hoping for here.
I kind of feel that even if that doesn't happen, you guys could still go out and headline all over the country and do well.
Yeah. Well, that's I just write the music, man. I don't know.
Let everybody else handle the logistics, huh?
Yeah.
But I mean, obviously, it's cool to kind of do a support thing with a bigger band, because then you kind of get exposed to other people too.
Yeah, I think that's the whole thing. Is we just want to expand, on Upon a Burning Body, what we are, what we do, and hopefully, this album's the one to do it. And I think, judging by all the response we've gotten so far, it's working. It's great.
This is a fabulous record, and I was. If someone said, Rob, what are the top, 3 records ever to come out of this city, Red, White, Green would probably be in the top 3. I think this one, the Southern Hostility one, is probably right there too, within the top 5. I really am a fan of this record, guys. I'm not just saying that. I wouldn't be here if I didn't feel so passionately about this record. And all you people out there, don't forget, go to your streaming service, go where you buy music online digitally, and get this record right after you see this interview. It's called Southern Hostility. Now, gentlemen, as we end out, any last words, anything I missed, anything you want to share with the fans out there?
No, I think you pretty much cover it all. You've been doing this a long time, so you got it going on. And I just appreciate everybody who's listened to it thus far, and I hope that more find out and listen and enjoy it like everybody seems to be so far.
What about you, Ruben?
Just share it. That's all I ask, is that you show it to somebody else, and hopefully they show it to somebody else, and we spread this fire. That's it.
And crank it fucking loud, because it sounds better that way. And shout out again to Chris Mora for his outstanding work on the backing, because this record just sounds fabulous as well. Gentlemen, thank you so much. Thank you so much for your time this afternoon. As I was saying off camera, you guys look so vibrant and healthy and strong, and I can't wait to see you throw down. I hope it translates and resonates with everyone tonight out there in the crowd. And I guess one last question before we leave. It just popped in my mind because we're here at this club. It's called the Paper Tiger now, and I remember a time when, before it became the Paper Tiger, the White Rabbit was like your home, man. This place like birthed Upon a Burning Body.
Yeah.
In many ways.
It did. My first show ever in a band locally, I was a guitar player in another band, and my first performance to perform was in the back room of the White Rabbit. Wow. So it's a special place for all of us. And I remember saying, when it was closing, we were on tour and we were all sad because we couldn't be here for the show that they did to finish out the White Rabbit. And I said, man, the first, I'm bummed out because we're not there. And second, I'm bummed out because we never headlined the White Rabbit and sold it out like we always intended to, And years go by, and Jen asked us, we're going to do the 20-year anniversary for the White Rabbit. So essentially, it's going to be the White Rabbit for the night. And would you like to headline it? And I said, yeah, it's not even about the money. We just want to do it. Yeah. And we headlined the White Rabbit that night, and we sold it out.
Yeah. I remember they brought back the old logo and everything. I was here that night. It was like 2017 or 16, I remember. Right?
Something like that.
Yeah, it wasn't too long ago, but very cool. It happened for you, man. And we continue to come back to this place. I love the Paper Tiger, too. I love what they're doing here, too. I'm glad that they have you guys here tonight. Gentlemen, all the best in 2019. If there is ever anything I can do for you to help the band, please just contact me yourselves or have George contact me, and I will do what I can to support you because I am a fan of the band. Remember, everyone out there, the champ is coming. The brand new record's already out. You saw Danny and Ruben of the band only right here on Rob's MetalWorks.